Welcome to Better Blends, 5 mistakes that break blended families and what you should do instead. We're going to learn about really kind of coordinating your blended family or depending on where you are, you might be in a divorce separation situation where you're co-parenting in two different houses, like a blended family, or somebody has a girlfriend, or there's all kinds of stages from leaving a partnership to moving on. So we're going to kind of address that, and at the end, we will answer your questions. If somebody really is confused about something, put a note, open up your chats because I would like to welcome you all here. And if you would say hi in the chat and tell us where you're calling in from, we'd love it. And just by you being here, I want to congratulate you because it tells me you prioritize your family. You want more for your family. You want your family to be better and stronger. So thank you for being here. And let me open up my chat. And Kelly's from Seattle. And I'm from Baltimore. And Zara's from the Philippines. Hi, honey. Who's back there?
Yeah.
Hi, honey. I see you back there. And Jeff is from Virginia. Stay down. What'd you say? Did you talk to me? Hi. All right.
Sorry.
You guys ready to get started? We're going to get started. Okay. So, a little reminder, the goal isn't to survive a blended family. The goal is to become a family. Okay? So, this isn't about day to day and just making your way through it. This is about being intentional and making the best, most fun, happy day you can make for everybody. This is my promise to you. By the end of this class, you'll understand why most blended families struggle, some of the main reasons. I'll give you practical tools that you can actually use tonight afterwards. You're going to discover how to help conflict end and connection build. And you get to leave with a clear step for what you do next to create the family you want. This isn't about the family I want. This is about the family you want. Here's today's agenda. We're going to start with a quick win for you so you immediately have an answer to a very common question. We're going to go over 4 more big mistakes that happen in blended families and broken families, if you want to say broken, but we're going to make sure they're not broken. What you can successfully do to change it and do something different, what your next step is. Like I said, we're going to have Q&A at the end, so you'll be able to ask questions. If you're not sure, you'll remember your question. By all means, you can put it in the chat stream, put a big Q by it, and we'll know it's a question that we're going to address later. So feel free to do that, okay? All right, here's your quick win. I promise your quick win, and this is mistake number 1. And we hear this a lot if you're in a blended family, and that is a child saying to you, "You're not my parent. You're not my mother. You're not my father. You're not my father." I've had it said to me by my stepchildren, probably somewhere along the line. If you haven't heard it yet, you're going to hear it. And many parents will simply respond, "Well, I'm not. But in this house, I am your parent. And you have to listen to me." And the problem with this is you're not contributing to finding the peace and the harmony that you can build with your family. You're just dismissing what their concern is, because remember, with kids, when they make a statement or they cry or they scream, there is something behind that. That is the way they're releasing their tension, but there's something causing their tension. So Something better to respond is pretty simply, you can screenshot this. I know I'm not your parent, but I am one of the parents in this home, and we're working hard to become a family. So let me know if there's something I can do differently, or let me know if there's something that will work better for you. We're all in this together, and we will all work together to make our lives better. So basically, you're not fighting with the person, you're the child, about not being their parent, and you're not declaring that, oh, well, too bad you're in this house and I'm the parent. You're simply stating that there are two parents in this house. There may be more. I mean, you may live with a grandparent or something like that, but you're one of them. And so, because you're one of them, you're going to create an environment where we're respecting each other. We're not just going to blurt out orders and make decisions without involving our children. So, we're going to get to this. But I want you to remember that respect is a huge part of this. You want this to work, you have to be as respectful as you want them to be. Hello, Magdalene. Did anybody else pop in that I missed? So I can say hello. Hi, Magdalene. If you would put in the comments, please, honey, where you're calling from, where you live, basically. So remember, a big part of this is building respect. People always ask me, what kind of parenting do I teach? And because there's all these gentle parenting and all the other kinds, peaceful parenting. If I was to say what I teach you, it is respectful parenting. Everybody deserves respect, and it's something I want you to remember through this and through your journey. You don't deserve disrespect, and either do your children. And things can get pretty disrespectful in a blended family, and we'll go on to tell you why. Oh, you're in Toronto. I was just in Toronto about a month ago. Okay, so a little game for you guys. Who I am. This is my blended family. So I want to see if you can guess. That's my husband, Rock, and I'm the little person in the middle. I gave you an arrow in case you can't find me because I'm so little compared to my gigantic children. So I want you to put in the comments who you think. I have two children and Rock has three. We have none between us because we thought five was a good round number to stop making kids from. We have been in this blended family for over 30 years. I have been a parent. This might give you a hint because one of these children are over 43 years old. I've been a real life parent for over 43 years. I'm a mom of five with this blended family, a grandma of nine. Not all the grandchildren are here. An award-winning author, parenting expert, and podcast host, the Be a Better Parent podcast. So you know who I am. I'm the little red arrow, and Rock is over there at the end. Who wants to guess whose children are who? And Zara, you can't guess because you know. Anybody want to put a guess in? My kids are 2 and 4. There's 2 and 4. Anna, did you know that already? She wins. My kids are 2 and 4. Lauren is the oldest. She is the queen bee of 4 boys, and she rules the roost. And Kyle over there, number 4, is my son. Lauren and Kyle are 6 years apart, one day apart by birthday, but 6 years apart. And Ross, who is number 1, is the baby of the family. Number 5 is Ryan back there. His wife is standing right in front of him next to me. And Paul is number 3. And so that is our family. Rock has 3 boys, and I have Lauren and Kyle. Good guess, Anna. Did you already know that? I didn't know, but I knew you had a daughter. Kidneys. See, and and did you know Kyle from his presentation? Yeah, see? Good deciphering. Good job. Good job. Okay. Here's the biggest myth in blended families. And this is what kicks off the problem. We love each other. The kids will adjust their kids. We'll get married and we'll become one big happy family. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. And why? Because it would be very nice if it worked that way, but it's not just about the two of you. And if you're in a divorce situation, then you're splitting up this family. And then somewhere along the lines, there may be girlfriends, boyfriends coming into the picture with other kids too. They may not be there yet. But a traditional family has parents and it has children, or a single parent may have a single parent. Either way, it is, parents and kids. Hi, Deo. This is our new friend. And Deo, if you would put where you're from in the chat. Traditional family, parents, kids, one set of rules, one family culture. I say one parenting style, but that's not always true. Sometimes people don't co-parent, even in the same home, the same. And that's a problem. But I can help you with that. Good news. Split family. Now you have two homes, two sets of rules, two family, um, two family cultures, and two parenting styles because something's going on in this home and something's going on in this home. And if you have a blended family, you still have these different homes. You have parents, you have children, you have step parents, step siblings, ex spouses, different family cultures, different parenting styles, different expectations, different loyalties, different histories. And that's a big one, guys. So we're going to address that a little bit, but you have to understand, just assuming that if we bring this family together, everything's going to be copacetic. That is not what's going to happen. It would be great if it did. But you have people in here, your children, that didn't ask for this to happen at all. They didn't ask for you to split up with their other parent. They didn't ask for you to bring more people into the world. They didn't ask for this. And yet they are often just thrown into the mix and expected to deal with it. And if you don't consider their perspective, which is super important, you're going to have trouble, okay? You have got to consider your children's perspective on this because they are overwhelmed. They may be scared because they don't know these people. And it depends how quick you put it all together. Okay, fact. Blended families aren't harder because people don't care. They're harder because they're more complicated. Again, there are more people. There's more history. You've got a family. If you're putting two families together, you've got two backgrounds in these families. This family was brought up this way. This family is brought up this way. You may have religions. You may have beliefs. You may have cultures that are all different. Even though you may have different religions and stuff in the same family before things split up, it still makes even more interesting aspects when you blend a family. You're bringing together people who already have a story. You know how you get these stories in your head? And when I work with my clients all the time, half the time we're knocking boundaries down on their story. This is what they believe. This is what they've always believed. I believe that people don't like me. I believe that I'm ugly. I believe that I'm stupid. Whatever those beliefs are that are in your head, I believe I'm bad. We get those beliefs in our children in the way we parent them, in the way we dismiss them. They start believing they're not important. And that's a really bad place to be coming from. You never want your children to think they're not important. I work hard to help you all realize that they have to be part of the solution, not believe they're the problem. Remember that when parents split up, kids will always internalize it as their fault. And then if there are competing parents, one wants to be the good guy, one wants to be the bad guy, or doesn't want to be the bad guy, then there's all kinds of crazy manipulation and things going on where kids are put in the middle. And they internalize it all and think they're the problem. We don't want that to happen. Their family story, for some amount, has to be kept intact. You can't just be like, well, we're going to do it like these people do it. We're going to do this. We're going to change this. You need to limit the changes. One of the biggest mistakes. Hold on, I have to let somebody in. One of the biggest. Oh, Zara, you can let people in, right? You can let people in and tell them to share their place. Read this. One of the biggest mistakes blended families make is assuming that they can simply create a new family like they created the traditional family. It just has more people. So, although it seems like, okay, so here's the family and now we're throwing them more into the mix, it is one of the biggest mistakes people make when blending a family. My own sister made that mistake. She's not here, so I can talk about her. She introduced my niece and nephew, lost their father to death. And then a couple years later, she got a boyfriend and like moved him in immediately without talking to her kids. And he was there for like 10 years. Initially, it was a nightmare. Don't just assume you can add more people to the mix and everybody is going to be happy and thrilled. There is a huge safety issue. Okay, so let's get learning some stuff. You're already hopefully listening and taking notes. The good news is you don't need a whole new system. Sometimes you just need to shift a few things and think of it from a different way of looking at things. And whether you're in a regular traditional family or a broken family or a blended family, I want you all to always consider your children's perspective. See how they look at life. Remember some things about it. Remember that hold on. Oh, Zara, are you letting people in or I'm letting people? I don't know. Remember that. Oh, you sent me a message. Oh, you're not a co-host. Oh, hold on. I have to figure out how to by the time I figure out how to make you a co-host, I could let people in. I don't know how to do that. Anybody know how to do that? Maybe not. I don't know. Host and co-host. Hold 1 minute. Everybody breathe. Go to the bathroom, getting something to drink. I don't know how to do this. Okay. Never mind. We won't worry about this. All right. I'll let people in. You need. Now I lost track of what I was going to say. Oh, I don't even know what I was going to say. But, I know what I was going to say. Okay. We're going back. We're going back, guys. You need to remember that your children are not adults. It takes our human brains 25 years to fully develop. Your children are children and they do not have fully developed brains. You're not dealing with an adult. They can't respond to you like an adult. They can't have the same logic, reasoning, impulse control, emotional control that you have because it's not developed in their brain. Funny thing is, the very last thing to develop in our brains is our prefrontal cortex. What's held in there? Emotional regulation, logic, reasoning, impulse control. Impulse control. If you think your kids are impulsive, they are, because they don't have any impulse control. So I say all this because our job is to teach them so they can develop it along the way. But our job is also to recognize that they don't have the brain power to look at things in a way that we look at things. And I want you to remember that. Now, today, whatever situation you're in, remember that. Okay. Let's start with mistake 2. I think this is mistake 2. This is covering up my screen. So I think we're on 2. Difficult conversations. This just this is on here because I work with a lot of families. And I really encourage you to have this conversation about what is going on in your family with your children. Do not just do things without including them. Your children have a right to be included. People will say, well, don't worry about it, honey. It doesn't affect you. Of course it affects them. They live in that house. They should know if you guys are splitting up, you're planning a separation or a divorce, talk to your children. Don't just all of a sudden they wake up one day and one of you is gone. You need to have these conversations. And when you're blending a family, when you're considering it, that's the time to talk to your child. Now, are you too late? Are you here and maybe you're already in deep with a blended family and you're trying to make it better? Good news is you're never too late. You're dead, you're too late. Not dead, not too late. So, in a blended family, if you're currently in it, it's never too late to say, let's sit down, guys, and talk about it. I had these clients, there were one client, a mom and a dad, and a teenage daughter and a son in a blended family. And the stepmom and the daughter the daughter was very angry at her and she was very frustrated. And in our work, she was like, I don't understand why she is so mad. And I said, did you guys talk about this before you moved in? Now, she actually had lived there overnight often, but not as like her father's wife, as like a girlfriend. That is different. It may not seem different to you, but to a teenager or a child, it is different. So they didn't talk to her, and all of a sudden, she now lives there full time. And although they got along when she wasn't living there full time, now his daughter was angry. And there was nothing this woman could do right. And until I figured out the problem was they never talked to her about it. And then we, the 4 of us, the 2 of them and her and me, had a conversation about what to expect and how she felt. And she was so angry that they didn't even think to discuss this situation with her. Do not make that mistake. Your kids deserve to know. They need to know what's going on. You don't have to tell them any age, things that are not age appropriate for them, but you do have to tell them. And when you start any kind of conversation, now this is a difficult conversation. This might be a conversation with your partner. This might be a conversation with your child, conversation with a coworker, a friend, a relative. If you are going to have a serious conversation where you have to discuss something, if you say to them, we have to talk, anybody hears that's like, oh crap, I'm in trouble, right? So instead, when you say we have to talk, instead of doing that, ask them, I'd like to have a conversation tonight after dinner. Would that be okay? Yes. I mean, they may not have a choice, but you can still ask. And then when you start that conversation, start it with appreciation. Start it with a compliment. And I don't care what compliment it is. Think of something. I really appreciate how you got off to school okay today, by the way. Thank you so much for helping your brother with his shoes. Think of something. Thank you, honey. I really appreciate you vacuuming the living room today. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you making me dinner, whatever it is. Think of a compliment because as soon as you give a compliment at the beginning of a difficult conversation, you send dopamine to their brain. It relaxes them and they no longer feel like they have to be on the defensive for a conversation that's going to attack them. So remember that. Compliment first. Okay. So here's the truth. Tonight is about giving you tools, regardless of where you are in your journey. And maybe you guys, if you're willing to, you could put in the messages where you are in your journey. Are you in a standard family? And you might be, I know some people said they were going to come just to listen. Are you considering a separation? Are you separated? Are you divorced? Are you in a blended family? Have you been in a blended family for a long time? Are you new to this? Are you considering a blended family? Like, if you're willing to, anybody that wants to be, and I know, if you don't feel comfortable, don't feel pressured. You don't have to. But wherever you are, the tools you'll learn, and I mean, we're just here for a little over an hour, so you're not learning everything. But what I am going to teach you, you'll be able to implement. Okay? Information is the first step to awareness. When I do my stop yelling workshops, which I'm going to do a stop yelling weekend coming up soon, date's not picked yet, but I'll let you know. When I do my stop yelling workshops, most parents realize they stop yelling in the first day, after the first day. Why is that? Because all of a sudden there's awareness. And they are aware of when they yell and they stop it. It's not that I gave them a magic pill. It's that I simply made them aware. And that's what we're doing today. We're starting your awareness of what's going on.
Hey, Celia.
Transform. Yes,
Sorry. The chat is disabled.
the chat's disabled. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. I probably did that.
When you were looking for the co-host, you probably disabled it.
The participant could chat with no one, meeting group chat and anyone directly. Oh, now I don't know how to do this. Czar,
There you go.
is that good?
Yeah.
Somebody type something and see if it works.
Now,
Oh, there, that's good. JKH. Yay. Oh gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please interrupt me. So the reason I have all this experience is because I'm really old. So please feel free to chime in and help me. And Czar is my assistant. So she's actually not as old as I am. And she actually knows like IT and whatever those things are. So everybody can message. So what did I ask you? Oh, if you wanted to message like what where you are in your stage of life. Cheers. Let's have some coffee. Okay. Information awareness. That is the first step to improving anything. We are relatively a new blend, 11 months in, both divorced, and each of us bring 2 kids. Jeff and Oasis here from Virginia. Hi, guys. Just down the road. So remember that awareness is always number one. If you're feeling like, oh, I'm struggling, I don't know which way to go, I feel like I'm too anxious or I yell all the time, awareness is number one. Magdalena was part of a failed blended family. Wish I had known so much more 30 years ago, supporting my daughter who is entering a blended family. Wonderful, Magdalena. You're a good mommy. You're a good mommy. Um, it's difficult, as Magdalena can attest, as I can attest. I've been a parent to a blended family for 30 years. Yes, we're all together. The beauty of that graduation party that happened this past weekend made me truly realize how fortunate we are. And I will tell you, from the moment Rock and I got together and we decided to get the kids to meet each other, I'm always grateful. I feel truly blessed because it doesn't happen in a lot of blended families. And we had 5 kids and they just all really liked each other. Were there different stages where they didn't hang out together? Yes, absolutely. But we were very fortunate and very grateful. But a lot of this is what I teach blended families to do so that you can have that same reward of seeing your family all together 30 years from now. even 1 year from now, without the arguing and the fights. So at the end, I'm going to show you, so you guys know, I'm going to show you how you can keep going and keep working together to reach whatever your goals are. Okay, so let's talk about sibling and step sibling conflict. Now, this is also good if it's just your sibling, if they're just siblings or step siblings. Here's the problem with step siblings. There is a competition going on. And depending which parent is intervening, they're going to immediately see it as unfair. Now, let me explain unfair. Unfair, when kids go, this is not fair, it actually usually has nothing to do with fair. It has to do with disappointment. They're disappointed. So they're like, this is not fair. They're in school and they get the blue hoop and they wanted the yellow hoop. And they're like, this isn't fair. Has nothing to do with fair. It's perfectly fair. Everybody gets a hoop. It has to do with disappointment. So when they start yelling things, this isn't fair, you're accusing me, you're taking sides, and you're trying to be fair, and sometimes you're even trying to be kinder to the child that's not yours because you feel a little, you're trying to, make a better connection. So then your child gets mad because like, why are you being so nice to him? It's a easy way to have everything fall apart. And no matter how hard you're like, this is impossible. And you give up and you walk out and you're thinking to yourself, what have I gotten myself into? Here's the way you handle it. And this is the way you handle any sibling spat. You have to be calm. If you are not calm, they are not calm. If they are all riled up, you help it by being calm. Calm breeds more calm. Stress breeds more stress. I want you to discover curiosity. You know what's great about little kids? They're always curious. They always want to know things because they haven't been on this planet for too long. You see a 3-year-old and they're always touching things and grabbing things. Why? They're 3. The first year, they were a blob, basically. So they've only been around for 2 years functioning, and they're curious about everything. That's why I say, if something is in the way of a toddler and you don't want them to grab it, then move it because their natural curiosity and their lack of impulse control is going to have them grab it. Okay? You become curious. And how do you become curious? You ask questions and you don't save the kids. You instead give them an opportunity to create their own solution, to think about how they can resolve this. There's something I teach my clients, and you can start it tomorrow or tonight because it's a really good thing to help kids become problem solvers. They bring you a problem. With that problem, they have to bring you 3 solutions. So you want your kids to be problem solvers and not be problem makers. They have a problem with something, they have to accompany it with 3 solutions. Wouldn't that be nice in this world? There'd be a lot less problems. Yes or yes? Okay, remember that. 1 problem, 3 solutions. Start encouraging your kids to do that, okay? Help them learn how to resolve conflict and how to resolve problems on their own. Don't just jump in and save an argument. I mean, if they're like killing each other and there's blood, separate it. But as long as they're just arguing and there is no blood, then let them see if they can figure it out. You can accompany them, you can help them, you can guide them. Don't do it for them. All conflict, you have to be in control of you. And my acronym that I teach all the time is PEPA. How do you stay in control of you? Well, you've heard of Peppa Pig. That has 1 extra P in it. That's for the pig. Throw that away. This has nothing to do with the pig. PEPA. Pause, evaluate, plan, and act. So if conflict's blowing up and you're thinking like, I'm going to blow, and you're escalating, as soon as you think of PEPA, you've paused yourself. That second, Peppa, 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 you just paused your brain. Now take a step back, go in another room if you need to, evaluate what is going on and how can you approach it calmer and more cooperatively and, important, more productively. And then do that. Do whatever your plan is. Whatever you plan, now go back there and do that. Okay? Don't just walk away. Don't just ignore the problem. Be proactive to the problem so you're not emotionally reactive. Peppa, Peppa, Peppa. Repeat it. Okay. So here's another issue, and that is step-parent authority. So this is a huge problem in blended families because you may be the mom in the house like I was, except now you got these 3 boys and they have a mom. How do you parent them without them getting insulted, without them doing what we said in the beginning? You're not my mother. Number 1, respect. Always respect, guys. Number 2, you talk about things. And you have to make sure that you and your partner, the other parent that lives in that house, makes a decision prior to who's going to do the discipline. And I really recommend, if there is hard discipline, like there's tough decisions to be made, the natural parent takes that over. But that doesn't mean there aren't going to be situations where the step parent isn't going to need to parent. Discussion, talk about it. Again, don't just jump in and assume everything's going to be normal. It's not normal. Well, it's more and more normal, blended families. But it is not like you parented your family. There are other people to consider. There are other points of view to consider. There are other emotions and other jealousies and other feelings for you to consider, not just yours, not just your partner's, but these kids that didn't ask for this. I say it again and again. They did not ask for more people in their house. They did not ask for some strange kid to come sleep in their bedroom. They did not ask for you to leave their other parent. They didn't ask for this new parent to come along. They didn't ask for any of it. And you have to be considerate of that. And you have to talk to them. Communication is key, and calm communication is really key. And when you discuss something, you get clear on what the expectations are. What is disappointment, guys? The definition of disappointment is unmet expectations. Well, if the expectations aren't clear, there's always going to be disappointment. If you make your expectations clear, success usually happens. Okay, so let's talk about the relationship trap, because here's another big problem in blended families. Things are struggling so much, or you're confused, or you're worried about the kids, or this is happening and this child's not, flowing with it, and this one's not doing it, and this one, and what about my child, and what about my child, and what about this? And all of a sudden, you have a big wall that just came between you and the person you loved and decided to start this new family with. Now you're ticked at each other. You don't even want to talk to each other. And the relationship is suffering. And you may be thinking, this was a mistake. What made me think I could do this? Why do so many second marriages fail? Because they go into it without an intent, without a plan. They fail because they're like, this is too hard. You have to be intentional. And the part of the problem is, as parents, we also don't have a plan. Nobody thinks parenting is important enough to have a system. Yes, Jeff, it's all so important. Oh, sorry, Magdalene. I was reading yours to see if there was something else there. Everything in this world, guys, has a system. Everything. You learn how to drive. You become a plumber. There's a system. You learn how to do that. You become a banker, you learn how to do that. You become an engineer, you learn how to do that. Doctor, lawyer, the potty. We teach our kids how to go potty. We don't sit on the toilet and pee in our pants. We take our pants off and we pee in the bathroom and we wipe and we put our clothes back on and we wash our hands. There's a system. Why do people think there is not a system for parenting? The single most responsibility we have, the biggest responsibility we have on this planet, raising another adult, we do by the seat of our pants. And then we wonder why everyone has to recover from their childhood. Wouldn't it be nice if we raised a generation of adults that didn't have to recover? Wouldn't that be nice? That would be nice. The world might not be so crazy. There might not be so much violence, so many angry, raging humans. You need a system, guys. You have to talk about how is this going to work. Okay. Here are the common threads in a blended family. You want to move slowly. This is not a decision you make and you act on it the second you make it. I really encourage you to take thought in this. Prepare. You communicate clearly. Clear, concise communication. That's what you want. You don't assume. When we assume, we are 99.9999999% wrong. Stop assuming and start asking questions and start listening. The best listeners are the best communicators, not the best talkers. You listen well, you will always get your kids talking to you. I raised 5 teenagers in a blended family, and they all talk to me. Why? I'm a really good listener. And I gave them their voice. I didn't just assume. I didn't tell them what they had to do all the time. I let them make decisions. Treasure those relationships. Build on those relationships. Don't assume. Don't judge. Don't criticize. Set expectations and stay connected. Is everything going to be perfect? Of course not. There is no perfection. But do your best to listen to each other and connect to each other. Okay, so I ask you, I want you to start tonight. What is one thing you've heard so far that you are willing to do? What is one thing? Is there a conversation you're going to have? Are you going to have a date night with one of your children or your partner? Is there some kind of clarification you can do on roles? Who's doing what? You can have a connection activity with your family. Gardening. Gardening is great, guys. Not just because it's pretty, but it gives children a chance for delayed gratification because they nurture, they watch, things grow. They love it. And it's the best thing to ward off osteoporosis, ladies. Vitamin D from the sun, weight-bearing exercise, gardening. So it's a magical thing. And it's calming if you like it. Small changes grow big results. So if anybody wants to put in the comments something that they think they're really going to start doing, put it in. Love date nights with family members. Yeah, it's Matt. And you know what, Magdalena? They never grow too old for it. You saw my son, we still go on date nights. He's almost 38 years old. If there's a superhero movie that comes out, we go see it. We go have dinner and the movie. Sometimes his wife comes. Most of the time she doesn't. But we've been doing date nights forever. Anna, never assume. Exactly. Exactly. Okay.
Hey there, I want to give a testimonial for my girl.
Take a listen.
Kibler, who's been my parenting coach for almost 3 years now. When I initially found Celia and connected with her, we were dealing with communication issues, discipline issues, behavior issues. I've got 4 kids that are ranging from 16, 14, 12, down to 10, 2 girls and 2 boys. We're a blended family. So we were dealing with issues between the 2 households, communication between the 2 households. other parents saying one thing and us trying to juggle our house and others, and just a variety of different behavior issues that were just really becoming a problem and seeming to be growing as our kids were getting older. And when I got a hold of Celia, she gave me such clarity and such insight into what we had to deal with in our household, and then what we couldn't control in the other household that was really causing a lot of challenges. And what I've loved about Celia is she's always been so clear in her advice that you always know exactly what you need to do and how you need to do it. Celia's principles and her techniques for helping parents work with their children have absolutely been life changing in our lives. And it's not only made our lives easier as parents, but I can see in so many ways how it's benefit our relationship with our kids. We have such a great relationship with every single one of our kids now, even our teenagers. And we've gone through some teen stuff in the past couple of years. You know, my teenager now just turned 16. We just got her a driver's license, so she's driving her own car. Celia's helped us navigate through all of the things that we've had to deal with giving our kids freedom, but then also with the younger ones, helping them really become who they need to be, and being able to, you know, leverage their individuality, and being able to connect with each one of our kids personally on an intimate level, and really develop the relationship with each one of them personally. It's just been life changing in so many different ways. I could sit here and talk to you all day about all the ways that Celia Kibler has impacted our life, but I really just want to say that she's so strategic in her principles, and she has such wisdom with the way she coaches parents, and really being able to solve root issues in the family so that the symptoms can go away. And I think that's a lot of what I was dealing with early on with our parenting journey. Was we were dealing with symptomatic behavior, and we weren't really getting down to the root of what the real problems were. Celia was able to help us uncover those things and really work with those things, and gave us such sound wisdom and advice for how we could not only parent our kids in the most effective way possible, but also co-parent with my ex-wife and her husband, so that the four of us can really be our best for these kids. So I can't rave about Celia Kibler enough. She has such an impact on myself personally, as well as my marriage, as well as our family. She's coached us in a variety of different ways. If you are looking for help in your family and with your kids, there's no other person to work with besides Celia Kibler. Highly recommended, 5 stars. I can't ever imagine not having a time where Celia Kibler is not in my life. I hope you guys take a step to work with her, and I hope this testimony gave you some insight of the impact that she's made on my life. All right. Cheers and God bless.
Thank you, Justin. So that was Justin. And yes, I've worked with him for a long time, and in various aspects. So a lot of times in families, I wind up not just helping with the parenting, I help with the individual. Sometimes I'll meet with both parents. I have one family where the grandma is my client, the mom is my client, the daughter is my client, and they're an older family, and they each are married, and all 3 of those people in this. Oh, and now actually the grandma is where I started. Now her niece is my client, and her niece's 2 sons are my clients. So a lot of times, like, it's the whole family thing. But I very much appreciate Justin's testimonial, and I hope that helps you. So let's talk about the gap. Now you've learned what to do, not totally what to do, but you've gotten some ideas of a little bit of clarity of where you need to work on. But things aren't going to change because you've spent an hour with me in the masterclass. And if you think they will, I guarantee you're going to go back to your old habits and old ways, and it's going to cause another kind of dysfunction in your family. You will change through support, accountability, coaching, practice. Consistency is key. Consistency, consistency, consistency. I know a lot of you. Consistency is an issue. And without it, most families stay stuck. They stay stuck in a place where they just can't find their way out of it. They can't dig out of it, and then boom, that whole family falls apart. So what will keep you going? if you're here now where you're not talking to each other, your children feel like they're being pulled in two different directions. The parent that doesn't, want to be the bad guy is there. The parent that thinks they're the good guy is there. You don't even know. Where can you take this? Where can you be in 30 years? I know this picture of my family 30 years ago, December 9th, 1995, we blended this family. And I'll tell you, we never remember our anniversary. It's kind of a going joke. It's a joke that we never remember our anniversary, December 9th. Such a random day. But anyway, that's for another conversation. But we never do remember our anniversary, and it is a joke. My daughter remembers. But you have to decide, what are you going to do? Help is there. You've already started. You've already found things that are going to help you. Jeff said you're going to compliment before having any important conversation. So good lesson, Jeff. And bring 3 solutions to every problem. Don't you love that? I love that. I love that. Because don't you think this world needs people like that? Okay, we're annoyed at this, but they're so busy bringing up problems. Nobody wants to talk about solutions. And how do you become a person that unifies? Is the person that actually tries to create solutions. Giving credit where it's due. Those were Oasis's points. Yes, absolutely. And see the positive. Don't just see it. Tell the person you saw it. Your child did something helpful. Don't just say it. Don't just see it. Say it to them. Thank you for helping with this. It is human nature for us to notice the negative. You don't have to work for that. It's right there in your face. I had a parent whose child used to get points if the teacher didn't send home a letter about her every day. This poor child spent every day going to school sweating that she was going to get a letter from her teacher. And I said, you mean to tell me every day there's something that she does wrong and never does 90% of the day? She can't possibly be disruptive 90% of the day. They would kick her out. So we're highlighting and we're focusing on this one thing she's doing wrong. Start noticing what your kids do right. Notice what they do right and tell them you notice. It's a game changer. Think how much you like to be appreciated. Start appreciating others. My husband, my house, I do the dishes. My husband does the laundry. Why? I don't like doing the laundry. He doesn't like doing the dishes. So it's very nice. Every time that man brings up a laundry basket for 30 years, I thank him. Why? Because I don't have to do it, and I appreciate him doing it. Appreciate each other. It goes a long way. Okay, so let's see how you can keep going forward. You heard Justin. You've already seen how things can help. But here's what I have to offer you, like I said, a path to move forward. The Better Blends Mastermind. This is what you get. You get 4 months of the Better Blends Mastermind experience. And I will tell you, in 4 months, you're going to be good to go. I'm going to make sure of it. Okay? But what's great is if you do early bird pricing, you get a 5th month free, a whole nother month free. Okay? So we just really make sure everything's done. Direct access to me. That means you can text me and say, Celia, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. I have clients text me, and if I'm able to call back, sometimes I'll just pick up the phone. I had a client text me at, not that I want you to text me at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, but she did. And her child wasn't going to bed, and she was running around the house. I picked up the phone. We had that child in bed in 15 minutes. I will help you. Please don't call me 9 o'clock at night. It's past my bedtime. You're going to have small group support. You're going to have accountability with each other. You're going to have these proven blended family strategies. Why are they proven? Just look at me. My kids all love being together after 30 years. 30 years these kids have been together, and they still love being together. You're going to learn about step parenting and co-parenting, things that Justin briefly touched about. Got Q&A, real life problem solving, family transitioning, a whole lot of things built into this mastermind for 4 months. And once again, early birds not only get the best pricing, they get the best support and a whole extra month of it. And I had to bring this up. After that weekend, so this weekend that we had just this past weekend to celebrate my grandson's graduation, if you don't think, you look at this text that I received from my son Paul and you're like, this makes the whole thing worth it. And I'll tell you another thing my daughter said, it'll probably make me cry. But he sent a text right after it that said, thank each and every one of you for coming, and thanking and Dad and Celia for hosting. We really do have the best family on the planet. Love you guys. The best family on the planet. And it's a blended family. I'll tell you another thing my daughter said to me on the drive to New York. This was about a year ago. And she said she was 11, 12 when we blended the family. She had a rough time. Her father, my ex, had just become a quadriplegic. There was a lot going on, to say the least. And she said to me a year ago, she said, Mom, my brothers saved my life. You putting this family together saved my life. I mean, if you do it right, it can be a miracle. You just got to make sure you're doing it right. What could change for you over the next 12 weeks? That's not working right now. Please consider it. You've got your kids to consider. You can either change their life for the good or change their life for the not so good. I don't personally like to say bad. So here's the price of the Better Blends Mastermind. It'll start July 7th. Early bird investment is $9.99 if you want to pay it in full, or 4 payments of $285 a month. 5th month free if you do it before June 17th. That gives you a week to decide and talk about it and consider, if you want to jump on it. Czar just put the mastermind link in the comments. After June 17th, it goes up. Doesn't go up tons, but it certainly does go up to $1,200 pay in full, or $340 a month. And you don't get the 5th month. That 5th month is only if you pay it before June 17th. And that means 1 more month worth of questions, 1 more month worth of decisions, 1 more month worth of coaching, 1 more month. The investment in your family. This is an investment in your family. This is not an investment in a car. It's not an investment in a couch. This is your children, your family, and your legacy. And whoever just came in, I want to say hi to. I can't find your name, honey. Somebody just came in and I can't find your name, but welcome. The link doesn't work. Czar, the link doesn't work. Kelly, are you laughing by now? Do you see the QR code? Did you put another one up? Oh, wait, Czar's got messages to me. Share my
Sorry.
audio is to my audio's low? Oh,
Okay. I'm
did you hear Justin?
sending the link. I don't know.
That one works? Okay, that one works. Guys, did you hear Justin? The audio was too low? Oh, well, I hope you heard him.
Well, I can send you guys a copy of it so you could hear Justin's
You heard him.
testimonial
Anna
very
heard him.
clear. Yeah, but I could also share it again with them.
Okay. And I can play it again too if you guys want to hear it again. But now I'd like to give you a thank you very much for showing up. I know it's hard. You guys are busy. You take time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me. I'm super grateful. And let's have some questions. I'm going to go back to the other screen so you guys can see how to sign up. But who has questions? And you can ask about anything. And you can just unmute and ask me a question.
I just have a comment that the tools that you brought up today and the tips and advice works for not only blended families, it works for all families.
Right. Exactly. Right. Works for everybody. So, I mean, it's perfect. And sorry, guys. That's one of the things. And that's what I mean about like being respectful, because all those tools are respectful. Letting your child talk. Don't just keep tell. I'll ask parents, like, did you give them a choice? And they will say, oh, there are a lot of people coming in an hour late. Time zone issues. And they will say, hi, Joy, you're at the end, but that's all right. Hang out. We'll get you the replay. They will say that I tell them you have 5 minutes, and then I set a timer. But that's telling. That's not asking. I tell them this. I tell them that. Kids are told what to do all the time. Told what to do, how to do, when to do it. When you start asking them, you start discussing, you start encouraging them to be part of the conversation, they feel great. You'll have a much better time with your teenagers too. Celia, I have to go do bedtime for this kiddos. Jeff, thanks for being here, honey. Thank you. And thank you to, oh gosh, Jeff, I forgot your girlfriend's name. What's her name? I'll call you honey because I call everybody honey. Thank you for coming, guys. I appreciate it. I hope it was helpful for you. So anybody else have a question? And yes, you're right. Oh, Oasis. That's such a beautiful name. How can I forget it? Thank you, Oasis, for being here. Hillary, I know you caught the tail end of things. Do you have any questions that I can specifically help you with? And we'll get you, this time zone issues. Can you hear me, Hillary? I don't know. You're not muted. Oh, do you have any questions, honey? Because I know you popped in late. If you did get here late, we can get you the replay. There is a replay, right? I did start recording. Please, God say. Oh, yes, I did. Thank goodness. Okay. Sorry. All of a sudden, I just panicked that I didn't record this. I hope this was helpful to you all. Anybody else have questions? I know it's getting late. Or not for all of you.
Hi, hi, Cecilia. Wasn't able to get on until just now. So how are you?
I'm good, Jazzy. How are you? Did you have any questions? You're in a blended family too.
Yes, I do have a blended family, and I love it. But it feels great when they all get grown and older, but they still depend on their mother. And I'm like, listen, you got to learn how to do it on your own.
Well,
I do have
but
a
it's good to have them do on their own. It's good to
Yes.
not always do for them. They need to learn.
Yes, I'm teaching my kids how to do stuff on their own and be independent, because I told them as they get older, you know, things will change as they get older. And I want them to experience life like I did, but I want their life to be 10 times better than mine. So I always tell my kids, I want you guys' lives better than mine. So I didn't have a rough or bad life. I know some people, they say, well, I had a very bad childhood, but I didn't have a very bad childhood. So, now that I'm like My mom always told me when you start having kids, you know, the way we treated our mothers and fathers when we were younger, now we getting it 10 times worse. And I'm like, oh my God, my kids are really running me for my money now.
Oh my. So, but you're doing good, Jazzy. You're doing good, and your kids are doing well. And I see
Yes,
some people said they weren't able to get on due to the link. Was there a
yes.
problem with the link?
Yeah, I wasn't able to get on at all. Me or Chrissy. Me and Chrissy was on Facebook talking because we wasn't able to get on.
Did you register for the class?
I believe I did. So I
Because
believe I
that's
had
how
an
you would
email.
have gotten the link, is if you
Yeah,
registered.
yeah, I believe I did. And I also looked at my email, but I'm like, I didn't see anything. I was like, did I register? So I'm not sure.
That's okay. You got on somehow. Um, okay, and Hillary, I can get you the information. You know, we can get you the replay so you can watch it. Does anyone else have any other questions that I can help you with? Any questions about the mastermind? It is capped at 20 families. We are not going to let more than 20 families in the mastermind so we can work closely with you and really resolve everything that's going on, because I want you to feel accomplished at the end of those 4 months. And if you early bird, you get an extra month of accomplishment.
That's a question.
Sure, Kelly.
My daughter's 9 and she's almost 10. She's having her 5th grade graduation next Tuesday. She got her tickets and she said, I only want you, meaning me, and brother and sister to come. She didn't want either of her dads to come. My husband, her stepdad, I could understand, but her own dad, who she sees every weekend, and he takes her and gives her all the things, and like she did, I don't understand. And I don't know whether I just respect her wishes or whether I should give her dad the chance to come.
What did you ask her why?
Yeah, she said she doesn't have why. That's just what she wants. And she doesn't.
Did you
She said no.
explain that they want to see her graduate?
No.
I would talk to her about perspective, like seeing other people's perspectives along with her own,
Okay,
and
sorry.
what does she think? You know, that's one of the things we dive into in like the mastermind, is we dive deep into talking to your children and clarifying
Yeah.
things. But I would help her understand other people's perspectives, because I think her father may be very hurt not going to her graduation.
Well, I would love her dad not to be there because he and I, of course, don't have the best relationship. My husband probably doesn't want to be there himself, but
He may want to be there. I mean, you know, I don't know enough about what's going on with you guys, and you know, if you do join the mastermind, we'll dive into it more. But you know, that's how I would kind of approach it. You know,
awesome. Thank you.
is really talk to her. It's good for kids to see perspective, you know, to see other people, just like it's good for you to see their perspective. It's good for them to learn to see others' perspective too. Hope that was helpful, Kelly. Any other questions? Well, guys, thank you very much for being here with me. If you have any questions about the mastermind or anything that we discussed, let us know, let me know. And if you want, if you came in late, you need the replay, also let us know that. You can message Czar at hello@beabetterparent.com. The word hello, HELLO, beabetterparent.com. There's a new message. Oh, there, look, Czar put it in the, oh, Anna, she went. Thank you, Anna, for being here. Thank you, Hillary. So, and then she can get you the replay as well. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned a lot of stuff that you can do tonight and tomorrow and start really building that family that, you know, you want to leave a legacy with. So you see how your family is a year from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, all of that. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye, everyone.